So, welcome back for encounter number 6. Today we're going to be talking about noun and adjective functions, as you can see written there on the PowerPoint projection. We are in chapter 6 of our book, Learning Biblical Hebrew. We were supposed to read about Joseph being sold into Egyptian slavery today, or this week. As we get started, I want to go ahead and I'm going to turn off my camera, make full screen for the recording, and then I'd like to know if you guys have any questions. Let me kill the camera and then make full screen. So do you have any questions as we get started? Anything from your reading? Anything from maybe from the daily reading assignments that we're supposed to be doing? Genesis 1 and Deuteronomy chapter 6. Anything you want to ask before we actually get into the material?
I think the questions I have would be most appropriate as we work through the reading.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're gonna work through a big part of the reading. So, okay.
That was very encouraging to be able to read that.
I'm sure, and it's a huge section. It's quite large.
Yeah, so it was very neat.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're doing a good job, and the book does a good job of kind of like bringing you into this. It's nice.
Yeah, I think that it's a good textbook to go through. Yeah, Gio, how are you feeling?
I haven't really gone through the chapter honestly because I'm pretty loaded this week. We've had new hires in our company, and I got to fast track the training for them. So It's been a big. So I think I'm kind of more of an observer right now. Really, I'm not sure if I could go with the reading activity, but I'll try.
Well, either way, I'm really thankful that you're here. I'm glad that you're here, and I was thinking about it earlier. John told us he's going to be late, and that's cool. But I was thinking, gosh, I really hope that we don't get to the point where I'm just talking to myself. So I appreciate you being here. You can give me some some feedback, and ask questions as we go along. So it's good.
Yeah.
Even if you don't manage to get through all the reading and stuff, please show up anyway, and we'll push you through as much as we can. All right. So today,
I'll do that.
Yeah, excellent. Today we're going to look at noun phrases. This is basically the simplest type of grammar we can get. Noun is a person, place, or thing, or idea. This is what we're told in grammar school. Syntax would look at it differently and say that categories of words are determined by function and not by definition. So whatever function as the subject of a verb is a noun. Functions as the object, direct or indirect, of a verb is a noun. And whatever functions as the object of a preposition is a noun. This is how you define what a noun is. This is how even verbs can be nouns, like reading is fundamental. So in the following, X, Y, and Z are all nouns. X saw Y in Z. They can be definite, indefinite. They can be complex or simple. We could say the boy, as X, saw a dog, which is indefinite, in the park, which is definite. The boy saw a dog in the park. All three of those underlined words are noun phrases. The man saw the car in the garage. The couple saw a musical in the city. Basically, you understand. I hope you understand what a noun is, because that's the most basic grammar we're going to build on today. You get nouns and noun phrases, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because we had high school grammar, right? So in noun phrases can be simple, can just be a simple noun. Children love to eat ice cream. Cars, many people drive cars to work. They can be definite or indefinite in English. The children, a puppy. And they can also include adjectives and adverbs. So you can say a big house, that's a noun phrase. A noun phrase is made up of a noun and anything that modifies it. So a big house, an extremely big house, an extremely big and scary house. That's one noun phrase. It's a bit complex. They finished their long walk late at night. That's my typo. Sorry about that. Okay, that's a pretty simple introduction, I think. Now we're just going to look at Hebrew. Noun phrases in Hebrew can be simple, like a name, Yaakov. Vayishlach Yaakov et Yosef el Echav. Jacob sent Joseph to his brothers. Notice that this is the real form of his brothers. We've been reading the brothers, ha'achim. Ha'achim. This means the brothers. The text in the Bible is actually going to say his brothers, which is Echav. Echav is his brothers. That's the text of the Bible. We'll say Echav. The text of our reader says ha'achim. Okay, they could also be definite or indefinite. Hebrew doesn't have a real indefinite form. Like that means that the indefinite just means that there's no article on it at all. So it could be generic or it could be indefinite. Vayimtza ish et Yosef basadeh. A man found Joseph in the field. This is from our reading from last week. Vayish'al ha'ish et Yosef. The man questioned, or he asked Joseph. Okay, so far so good? All right. Noun phrases in Hebrew can also include adjectives and adverbs, just like in English. But we're going to see that there is agreement. So if it's definite, the adjective will be definite. If it's indefinite, the adjective will also be indefinite, and they have to match in gender and number. So ha'ish hatov, that is masculine singular for both of them. That is that the ish is masculine singular, man, and tov is masculine singular, and they're both determined. Determined meaning with the definite article. Okay, so it's like in Greek where you say ho anthropos, ha kalos or agathos, that it has to have a repeated definite article. The man, the good one. If it's indefinite, it won't have an article on either one. Melech tov, a good king. Okay, this was in the reading for the week. So this sentence, let's see if somebody will read it for us. This one right here. I'll make it a little bigger on my screen. Okay, this way. There we go. Someone want to read the first one for us?
Vayelech ha'ish hatov el Yerushalayim.
Excellent. Vayelech ha'ish hatov el Yerushalayim. And the good man went to Jerusalem. Okay, and the second sentence, can you tackle that for us, Gio?
Lo yedrosh.
Exactly.
Lo yedrosh melech tov et kesek.
Kesef. Kesef. That's a F on the end.
Kesef. Yep, kesef. So that's three. Kesef.
Amo. Yep. Lo yidrosh melech tov et kesef amo. A good king, that is indefinite, a good king will not demand the money of his people or the silver of his people's money. Right? A good king will allow his people to thrive. So we've got the good man and a good king. Okay? There's agreement in gender, number, and definiteness. Alrighty. Here is a little talk about definiteness. Adjectives and noun phrases must agree in definiteness with the main noun. It would be read something like the king, the good, hamelech hatov. The king, the good king is what it means. We'll later learn how to add suffixes for possession. So we might have malkenu hatov. Malkenu, the enu ending means our. Malkenu, our king, the good. Our king, the good. King our, the good. Malkenu hatov means our good king. our good king. Malkenu hatov. So we'll see three situations in which nouns are definite. That is, number one, with the article, obviously. Kelev is dog. Ha-kelev, the dog. With a personal suffix, it's also definite. So kelev is dog again. Kalbo is his dog. It means the dog of him. Kalbo, his dog. We're going to learn these suffixes very soon. How you say my dog, your dog, her dog, and so on. In construct is the third situation. When a noun's in construct with another definite noun. So here is king, melech, and ha-melech, the king. When these two words are in construct like this, admat ha-melech, land of the king, admat ha-melech, the king's land. Because king is definite, the definiteness is also lent to the entire phrase. So admat ha-melech is the land of the king. It's a definite phrase. Okay, we'll get to that. We're starting construct in the next chapter. So I'm just kind of introducing it, and we'll get into it in chapter 7. All right. If the noun and adjective do not show agreement in person and number, there must be a reason. There has to be a reason why they don't agree. Either the adjective is not modifying that noun at all, it's modifying something else. Or in words like Elohim, Adonim, Be'alim, these words that represent mastery, God, Lord, Master. If someone has absolute power over your life, if they can control whether you live or die, then many times it's written in the plural. And so these plural forms will still take singular endings in the adjectives. So Adonav means literally his masters. His master would be Adono, but his masters is Adonav. And then Ha-Mitzri, Mitzri is from Mitzrayim, Egypt. It means an Egyptian. Adonav Ha-Mitzri, his Egyptian master. This is the phrase that's used when Joseph is in slavery and Potiphar is his Egyptian master. He's called in the text Adonav HaMitzri, not Adono HaMitzri. So there's a disagreement in plural versus singular, and that's because this relates to these words that have the idea of control over somebody's life, absolute power. If the noun is definite and the adjective is indefinite, it's in predicate position like you have in Greek, and it should be considered a verbless sentence, like HaMelech Tov, means the king is good. There is no word for is in Hebrew in the present tense. So the verbless clause is what you get. They call it nominal clause in Hebrew. It comes from Shem. Shem is noun. The Ha-Melech HaTov, the king is good. We'll find it also reversed. Tov HaMelech. Tov HaMelech means the same thing with just different emphasis. Okay? So the predicate nominative is almost always indefinite. That would be, if this was a noun, it would normally be indefinite. So if you say, the king is a liar, HaMelech, HaMelech is the king, Melech, HaMelech, Shakran, Shakran, liar, Shakran. HaMelech Shakran. The king is a liar. And this noun is indefinite because it's normal to say the king, definite, is a liar, indefinite. So there's a mismatch. It could be with adjectives or nouns that are predicate. Okay? Predicate meaning after the word is. The king is good. The king is tall. HaMelech Gavoa. The king is powerful. HaMelech, I can't, my brain right now is empty. Yesh lo koach, he has strength. I don't know, right now I'm tired. Next.
Number one up there?
Yep.
Be'alim, is that the plural of
Baal.
El?
Baal.
Baal, okay.
Ba'al. Ba'al in singular,
Okay.
be'alim in plural. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. All right. So, any questions so far? We're actually moving through very quickly because, like I said, this grammar I think is really simple. So we're moving through it really quickly. Questions up to this point?
None from me.
Okay. So we're going to add demonstrative adjectives to the mix. In Hebrew, demonstrative adjective and a demonstrative pronoun is going to be the same thing. Adjective and pronoun is just when it's substantivalized, it is a pronoun. Like you can say, this is the man. Ze ha'ish, this is the man. Or you can say, ha'ish hazeh, this man. It's kind of weird, but in Hebrew you say the man, the man. This is attached, right? Ha'ish. The this. Or the that. The man, the this. The man, the that. Okay, the word for this, for masculine, is ze. Ze. Okay, so when you have the, this, haze. Haze. You see it right here? Haze. So we can say ha'ish, haze, this man, the this. And you notice we can put adjectives in the middle. The word rasha means wicked. Okay, rasha. So this wicked man in Hebrew is ha'ish harasha hazeh. The man, the wicked, the this. Ha'ish harasha hazeh. Okay? Feminine, instead of ze, is zot. Zot. Zot is feminine. So obviously we would say hazot. Ha-zot, the this, feminine. So isha is woman, and hazot is this one, ha-isha, hazot. Ward, would you go ahead and read this line for me? This one?
Ha'isha.
That's
Haris.
I'm sorry about that word.
Rule.
Oops.
Oh, I missed the shawa there.
Yeah,
Ha'isha. Harasha.
So I put the meteg right there to show that this is ha, and resha'a, resha'a, ha-resha'a. Yep, ha-isha, ha-resha'a, hazot. Okay, so
Harisha'a.
yeah, it's the same word as rasha, but rasha is masculine. It's like it's rasha, but we've added the hey ending, okay, which pulls the accent to the end, and so the accent is here, which means that this is the near syllable, it's long, and this is the distant syllable, is short. Resha'a. And then we just add the ha in the beginning. Ha resha'a. Okay. This one, Gio, can you tackle that one?
Yep. So that's anashim, harishaim, ha'ele.
Yes, ha'ele. So if ze is masculine, singular, and zot is feminine, I missed my dot. Zot is feminine, singular. Ele is common plural. Common meaning that it's common for masculine and for feminine. Ele. Ze is masculine. This is the Zayin right here. Zot and ele. Ze, zot, ele. We will find other forms of the demonstratives in some texts of the Bible, like instead of ele, you might see halalu. Halalu is the same thing as ha'ele. Hazot, you might see hazo. You can have zot, or zo, and they both mean this. You'll find them, and we'll run into them, and we'll learn them as it's at a later stage. Right now, we're gonna keep it simple and use only these ones. So hazeh, hazot, ha'ele. The structure is understood, right? That it's the man, the wicked, the this.
Could those be in any order, or they have to come in that order?
They're going to come in this order. The demonstrative will come at the end.
Okay.
All right. The next demonstrative, these are, we would call them near demonstratives. That is this and these. These are near. There are also, of course, far or distant demonstratives. That's that and those. That and those. These are far or distant. In Hebrew, generally, it's hahu, hahi. You should know that hu is the word he, like him. And he is the word she, like for a female. So when we say ha-hu and ha-he, it means the she or the he, the that. It's the one over there. Kind of funny way to say it, but that's how it's handled in Hebrew. In modern Hebrew, honestly, we only use these ones. These are not really used in speech. Nobody says, they don't really distinguish between near and far demonstratives. So this and that in modern Hebrew is the same thing. But in the Bible, hahu, hahi, hahem, v'hahen.
So will the far demonstrative always have the definite article with it?
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's functioning as a demonstrative adjective, it will. When it's when it's part of a noun phrase. If you take that off and you say who, then you're just pointing at something. You're saying who, like a man, he is a good person. Who, ish tov, he is a good person. And this.
But it could still mean it.
Yeah, it can mean. So who is a complicated word. It can mean he, it can mean it can mean that. Like when you're pointing at something, it's got a lot of uses. But we often use it as a personal pronoun, meaning he. The feminine is she, which is he, like this. He. Notice that in the Torah, in the Pentateuch, it's most of the time written with vav, but it's still read as he. It's as if this were yod. In the Pentateuch only, not in the rest of the Bible. Okay. So let's go through these one by one. We'll do the first one. Ha-ish, ha-rasha, ha-hu. That wicked man. That wicked man. Okay, Gio, if you'd tackle the second one.
Okay, so that's ha-isha, ha-resha, ha-hi.
Excellent. Ha-isha, ha-resha'a, ha-hi. If we want to simplify, we could say ha-melech. This is a common noun that we know pretty well. Ha-melech, ha-hu. Ha-melech, ha-hu, that king. Ha-melech, ha-hu. Okay, ha-melech, ha-hu, that king. So how would we say this king?
Melech hazeh.
Melech hazeh. And that king, Melech hahu. If you say queen instead of king, it's malka. Malka. Okay, malka. Ha-malka hazot. Ha-malka hazot. Ha-malka ha-hi. Ha-malka ha-hi. Okay, so how do we say this queen? Gio, can you give us this one? This queen with the word malka. Malka.
Malka Hazot.
Malka hazot. Great. And that king, Ward, if you don't mind, that queen.
That queen?
Mm-hmm.
Hamelka hahi.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. The personal pronouns for the plural are also masculine and feminine. Hem, hen. Hem, hen. So when you put the article on it, it becomes ha, hem. Ha, hem means those ones. Ha, hem. We can also have an ah ending on these, and it means the same thing. So you can say hahem or hahema. Hahem, hahema. Both of these are found in the Bible. Okay? The older forms are probably the longer ones with the ah ending. All right. So those wicked people, ha'anashim harishaim hahem, or hahem. Ha'anashim harishaim hahem. And those wicked women, hanashim harishaot hahen. Hanashim harishaot hahen. Okay, these are not really used in modern Hebrew. Like we don't use it this way, but you will be understood if you went and you said that. It's considered higher speech, like less colloquial, more academic. Yeah, and it's good, but people don't normally say it in the street. Notice the strange thing that in the singular you have the virtual doubling of the article, while in the plural you have compensatory lengthening. Not sure why that is, but that's how it's found. All right, moving on. We're going to use these demonstrative pronouns: who, he, hem, hen, ze, zot, ele. And we're going to put them on nouns according to number and gender. All right? So let's try to remember. Kesef, is it masculine or feminine? Do you remember? Kesef. It means, what does it mean? It's part of our vocabulary. Silver or money. Mm-hmm. Like in Greek, argurion is used for silver and money. It's like in Spanish, plata. Plata also. It's used for money and it's also used for silver. So kesef is silver or money, and it is masculine or feminine. Do you remember?
I think feminine.
Not this time.
I'm not sure.
Not this time. It's masculine. Kesef is masculine. So remember, money is manly. I don't know. The next one, it looks, the vowel pointing is exactly the same. Ha-kesef. What's this one? You remember?
Way or the road.
Way or road, right? You say derech. Derech. Derech is way or road. And do you think it's masculine or feminine?
Don't know.
It's feminine. I think once in a while you find it appears as masculine, like in the adjectives, but mostly it's feminine. Kesef, masculine. Derech, feminine. So you could say derech aruka. Aruka means long. Aruka. Aruka, long. Derech aruka is a long road or long journey. Derech aruka. Derech aruka. It's best to memorize adjectives with the nouns to remember if they're masculine or feminine. So if yashar is straight, yishara. Yishara. Derech yishara, a straight road. Yishara. Okay? The next, so this is feminine, this is masculine. The next one is, what is the word? Do you remember that word? It's from the reading.
Bore.
Bore.
A pit.
A pit. or a cistern or like a hole. Bor amok, it gives us in the reading, bor amok means a deep hole, a deep pit. Amok. Bor amok. I have friends who turned that into a group of DJs. Like they play in different clubs in Tel Aviv in the area, and they call themselves Bor amok, a deep pit. The next one is, that's masculine. Bor is masculine. That's why it's amok. If it were feminine, it would be amuka. Amuka would be feminine of amok, deep. Amok. Amok. Deep. Okay, so Bo Amok, a deep pit. The next one are the people who put Joseph in the Bo Amok, put him in the deep pit. This is Ha-Achim. Right, Ha-Achim. So Bo is masculine singular, Achim is masculine plural, right? So whatever pronoun we're going to use, or adjective we're going to use to go with it is going to be masculine plural. All right. The next one is habayit. Bayit is masculine. Bayit, house, masculine. Isha is feminine. Obviously, it's woman. Okay. Ish is a man or a person. Isha is a female person, a woman. Klavim is from kelev. Masculine or feminine? You know? From Kelev? You remember Kelev, what it means?
I don't remember Kellen, no.
Dog.
Okay.
A dog.
A dog. Yes, it's a dog. So I don't think it was part of our vocabulary, but I've used it in a lot of examples. So Kelev is dog and Klavim are dogs. And obviously it's masculine because feminine would be Klavot. Klavot with ot. That's female dogs. You've got male dogs, Klavim, and female dogs, Klavot. So this is masculine plural. And kol means voice or sound. It is masculine singular. All right, I'm going to delete all of this and we're going to go and say hahu, hahi, hahem, and hazeh, hazot, whatever. Okay, so first add one of the pronouns to this and then tell us what it means if you don't mind, Mr. Ward.
Kesef hazeh.
Yeah, and you can write on the screen too, so you can practice writing the words.
There, I had himself muted. Hakesef hazeh.
Yes. Okay, your writing isn't coming through very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Not very well.
So kesef hazeh. What else could you say? You could say kesef hazeh. What else could you say? Could you say kesef ahi?
Yeah. Hakesef hahi. No. Hakesef ha. Hakesef hahu.
Hahu. Because who is masculine singular? And why could you not say hakesef ahem?
This is singular, not
right, because kesef is singular and hem is plural. Great. All right, derech, if you don't mind, Gio, pair it with what you can and tell us what you can't or whatever.
So this is feminine. Derek. I can say hazot.
And what would that mean? Haderech hazot.
This road.
Yeah, this road, this way, exactly. Yeah. Is there another one? Is there another one on the list that you could choose? Haderech hazot.
Hahi.
Yeah, haderech hahi. What's the difference between haderech hazot and haderech hahi?
And then there's going to be that road.
That road.
Or
So
that way.
it's pointing away from us, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Could you say haderech ha'ele?
No. Huh?
Correct. And why?
Is in general? You wouldn't agree with. I can't. I can't explain that.
Yeah, you're in the right direction. It wouldn't agree with it. Like ele doesn't agree with derech because ele is it's plural.
It's plural.
Yeah, ele is plural.
And then you have
so ele is plural, like ze and zot. Ze is masculine, zot is feminine, and ele is plural for both. So if we wanted to say these ways, like these roads, it would be hadrachim, drachim, like derech, its plural is drachim, which sounds masculine, but it is feminine. Hadrachim ha'ele, hadrachim hahen, those roads or those ways. Okay. It's feminine, even though it sounds masculine in its ending. All right, Ward, you go ahead with the next one.
The habor hazeh.
Habor hazeh. Mm-hmm.
This pit.
Mm-hmm.
Habor hahu, that pit.
Yeah, habor hahu. And we couldn't say habor zot because
one's masculine, one's feminine.
Exactly.
Wrong genders.
Exactly. Ha'achim. What would you pair with that, Gio?
Achim, that's plural, so that's you're pointing ha'ele.
Mm-hmm. Ha'ele. Ha'achim ha'ele, these brothers. Or if you're going far,
those which will be ha'em or
ha'achim, ha'hem. Of course, you can have an ah ending on the end, like the added hey just adds an ah sound, so it's ha'achim ha'hemma. This is also acceptable. Ha'achim ha'hem or ha'achim ha'hemma. Okay, that's what we talked about before. Do you remember the ah was on there, right here? It can be hahem or hahema. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so we're back to habait. I'll take this one. Habait. Bait is house. Habait. Hazeh. Habait hazeh means this house. And habait hahu is that house. Hahu. I can't say habait ha'ele because bait is singular and ele is plural. Okay, and I can't say habait hazot because zot is feminine and bait is masculine. Habait hazeh, habait hahu. All right. Ward, you want to go with the next one?
Ha'isha hazot, this woman.
Okay, excellent.
Ha'isha ha'i.
Excellent.
Ha'isha ha'i, that woman.
That's perfect. Ha'isha azot va'isha hi. Wonderful. We can't say ha'isha zeh because zeh is masculine. Exactly. Go ahead, Gio, with the next one.
So that's Aklabim, the dogs, Ha'ale.
Ha'ele. Ha'klavim ha'ele. What's that mean?
These dogs. These dogs. Okay.
Excellent.
And I can also for those like Hahem or Hahema.
Yeah.
Those dogs.
Perfect.
Ha'klavim
hahem.
Hahen.
Beautiful. The last one, kol, is also masculine singular like bite. I'll just handle that real quick. Hakol hazeh, this voice. Or hakol hahu, that voice. But not hakol hahem, because it's hem is plural and kol is singular. Perfect, great. I thought that would be more difficult to get across. It went across great. Now we are in the reading, which is the best part of the class, of course. Did either of you actually get to the reading this week? Out of curiosity.
Excuse me?
Did you get to the reading this week? Did you have time for it?
I read it probably at least once a day.
Wow. Yeah. I finally put together the recording. I haven't uploaded it yet, but I do have the recording put together for the whole thing.
That'd be very helpful, because
Yeah.
I still struggle sometimes with.
Well, I'm going to get it up tonight when I upload this as well. All right.
But I got to where I felt like I could kind of get what the flow. I could kind of read it.
Beautiful.
It
Beautiful.
was very, very encouraging.
And Gio, I assume you didn't get to it because you had some things going on this week.
Yeah, but I was trying. Whenever I have the time, I always go in especially in Deuteronomy, and I do a review every day also.
Fantastic.
Just read a couple.
Fantastic. That is the goal. No matter what, read what you can. Read as much as you can. Just looking at what I see on the screen right now, I have to point out this. I copied and pasted directly from the workbook, the electronic one. This pointing is incorrect. That should be Kutz. I don't know if it matters to you, but I just looked at it and I saw there was another one that I caught whenever I was putting it together. As far as errata is concerned, like mistakes in the text, and that was where they said, where is he? This word aye in the textbook does not have dagesh in the yod, but it needs dagesh. I put it in this one because I saw that when I was putting it together. Aye, where, aye, has a dagesh in the yod. But it doesn't matter for pronunciation, but it matters for, correctness. And that one should be Kutz. This just now jumped to me. I didn't see it before when I was putting it together. Okay, so let's begin with our practice reading and see where we get to. Remember this word here, if we're syllabifying, it has that there because this is, the accent is on the last syllable. So this has to be open syllable because it's got a long vowel, okay? Just so you know. So if we're breaking it apart, vayeshevu, vayeshevu, okay? So let's go from there. Who wants to begin and be our guinea pig?
I've drawn a blank on the meaning of that word.
It's from yashav. The word yashav?
To sit.
To sit, yeah, or to dwell.
Yeah.
So vayeshvu can be they lived, they dwelt, or in this case it means they sat down. In modern Hebrew we have yashav, he sat, and we have ityashev, he sat down, and we distinguish that in forms. But I don't recall that ityashev is in the Bible. Only yashav.
So how do we know? Is that a perfect or imperfect verb there then?
It is an imperfect with vav consecutive. The past tense would have Kutz. It would be yashvu. Yashvu would be the perfect, but yeshvu is the future, the imperfect.
Okay.
But in this case, the vav consecutive turns it and makes it past narrative. Okay.
So they yeshavu yohalu.
Okay, this one needs to be a little bit shorter. It's yochelu. Yochelu.
Vayirhu. Vahine Ishma'alim. Ba'u min Gila. So they sat and they ate, and they saw, behold, Ishmaelites coming from Gilal.
Gilad is Gilead in English. Gilead.
Yeah.
It's a nice, fun one to pronounce. Gilad. Al.
Al Haderek, upon the road,
Mm-hmm.
El Mitzrayim, to Egypt.
Yeah. On the road to Egypt. So vayeshavu, vayochelu, vayireu. Okay, this is three verbs that are vav consecutive imperfects. They sat, they ate, and they saw, or they looked. And behold, v'hinei, Ishmaelites came from Gilad on the road to Egypt. Yeah? Very nice. Vayeshavu, vayochlu, vayir'u, v'hinei Yishmaelim ba'u min Gilad al haderech el Mitzrayim. All right. So it's your turn, Gio, from here.
Okay, it's Vayomer Yehuda El Ha'achim K N.
What is N? N means there is not. There is not.
There's no.
Okay, there is not. It's the opposite of there is, and there is yesh. Yesh means there is. N means there is not. Yesh. Yesh, there is, and there is not.
Okay.
It's a fixed form. It's not there. There's no plural and singular and all of it. Just N. It's feminine and masculine. Everything. It's fixed. Okay. So Vayomer Yehuda el Ha'achim ki en. What's this letter in the middle?
Betsa.
And Betsa.
Betsa.
We could think Betsa is like advantage or gain. Like there is no gain if we do this. There's no. We're not going to get any good out of doing this. Okay.
Betsa in. Yeah. Yes. Pechu.
Yishpechu, which is it's from the word shafach. What is shafach? Shafach is the verb spill or pour out. Shafach. Okay, it's in the vocabulary words for the chapters. So verbs, we've got yashav, achal, ra'ah, shafach, amal. These are the verbs from the passage so far. So yishpechu means if they will spill. Im yishpechu, if they will spill. What will they spill? Dam. This is blood. Okay, so Judah said to his brothers that there would be no benefit if they would spill blood, meaning if they would cut somebody open and try to kill them, right?
Dam vehargu. Et Yosef.
Yep. So this is harag is they killed, and hargu is they. Harag is he killed. Hargu is they killed, and the vav consecutive flips that around and says they will kill. Okay, so we've got Judah said to the brothers that this is indirect speech, right? Not direct speech. It's not quoting him. It's just saying what he said. He said that there is no benefit. There is no benefit if they will spill blood and they will kill Joseph.
Joseph.
So Vayomer Yehuda el ha'achim ki en betza im yishpechu dam v'hargu et Yosef. Okay, I'll take the next sentence, and because we only have...
Can I ask you?
Oh yeah, sure.
Can I ask you a question? This harag, to kill, that syllabify that, please.
Do what? Syllabify it?
Syllables, yeah.
Yeah. So it's ve ha re gu.
Got it. Thank you.
This should have meteg, but they didn't write it.
Because that's a long
Long vowel.
vowel, so it's an open syllable.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, the next one. Ve'im yimkeru. This is the first is silent. The second one is vocal. Im yimkeru et Yosef bechesef. For money, you can sell somebody for money, or you can just give them away into slavery, right? So if they will sell Joseph for money, la yishmeelim, to the Ishmaelites, v'haya vetza, and they will have benefit, or they will have gain. This is the future. It's also, haya is the past, but it's v'haya, and it will be. V'haya vetza. V'yad lo tiyeh v'Yosef. A hand, yad, lo, this is not. A hand, not. A hand, not will be. V'yad lo tiyeh. This is the feminine for the future. It will be. You should only recognize at this point the root haya, be. Okay? Haya. B. V'yad lo tiyeh v'Yosef. The ve here means against. A hand will not be against Joseph. Okay, it means again that they won't kill him. Ki achu. Ki achu. Because a brother, he. Because he is a brother. In the Bible, it actually doesn't say ach, it says their brother, achihem. It's their brother. Vayishme'u ha'achim el Yehuda. The brothers listened to Judah. Okay, so they didn't kill him, they listened to Judah. Go ahead from there, Ward, if you don't mind. Okay, so just notice here the accent, and that this is soft.
Vayavohu. Ha anashim ha Ishmaelim.
Ishmaelim.
Vayikru.
Okay, that one right there is Vayikechu.
Yosef. Min habor.
Excellent. This word here, Vayikechu, is from lakach. Lakach means he took. Yikach is he will take. The lamed, for whatever reason, this lamed disappears into the kaf and the kuf, and you say yikach with the kuf having dagesh. Yikach means he will take. Yikach. But when you add the u ending, yikachu, this syllable here reduces, and it becomes yikchu. And with the shva, the dargesh disappears because of skinim levi, and we get yikechu. Okay, yikechu, they will take. The vav consecutive, va yikechu. And they took. Va yikechu. And they took. So, and they took Joseph out of the pit. They took Joseph out of the pit. I assume here that the subject of Vayikechu is the brothers. It's kind of weird. It says they came, Ishmaelite men came, okay? And they took Joseph. The question is, it happens in the text of the Bible. There's an argument about who the subject is. Did the brothers go and take Joseph out of the pit? Or did the Ishmaelites take Joseph out of the pit? You know? In the Bible, it's even more obscure than it is here.
Ishmaelites. Because usually, at least in Greek, it's usually the noun that's closest will be the antecedent.
You would think so, but then we have a problem with the next sentence. If it says they took Joseph out of the pit and they sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites. You see the problem? And the text here is a bit altered, but this confusion exists in the text of the Bible.
I would just say they're smart. They got them to do the work and they got the money.
Some people have suggested when it says Ishmaelites here, there's a second word in the text of the Bible. Let me actually pull it up because I want to remember it correctly. But there's a second word in the text of the Bible that some people have said that the Ishmaelites sold them to other people. Let me see what it says exactly.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that. So.
37.
Interesting.
All right. Okay. I'm just getting to this section. וישבו לאכול לחם וישאו עיניהם ויראו והנה it says אורחת ישמעאלים באה מגלעד. Okay, let's see. ויאמר יהודה אל אחיו מה בצע כי נהרוג את אחינו וכיסינו את דמו. What is the benefit? What advantage there is if we kill our brother and we cover up his blood? He says, "Come, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites, and our hand won't be against him, because he is our brother and our flesh." And they listened, and his brothers listened. Okay, and then it says, Midianite merchants passed by, and they pulled and brought up Joseph from the pit, and they sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph to Egypt. So they pulled him up. The question is, they pulled him up and they sold him. Who are they? Are the Midianites not the same people as the Ishmaelites? There's some confusion in the text. Yeah. So there's argument in the commentaries. It's interesting. It's interesting that they were able to bring that confusion across in their adaptation of the text for the reader. It's neat. Okay, so we are here. Vayimkeru et Yosef la Yishmaelim bechasef. Chasef is kesef. We're going to have to get to the idea of causal forms pretty soon. How about we take a minute to go over what that means? I'll get a blank sheet here. We have words like kesef. Kesef means gold or silver, kesef. And we know that, we talked about it last week, historical forms. If I say his money, I would say kaspo. Kaspo is his money, which tells us that the historical form was kasp. Kasp. K-A-S-P. Kasp. That's the historical form. We know that because of this. We talked about it last week. I know it's a pain in the butt, but here it is. What this tells us is that originally we had an A vowel in there, kasp. When we look at the text of the Bible, we'll look at a verse, and the verse ends in this little colon. Okay, the colon, these two dots, come with another mark called siluk. This is called sof pasuk, Sof means end. Sof. Pasuk. Pasuk means verse. Sof pasuk, the end of the verse. This colon is the end of the verse. And siluk is the tone, the name of the tone that is attached to the end of the verse. Siluk. When a word appears in the last position of the verse, okay, the last position of the verse with sof pasuk, it will change. Many times this has effect on the vowels, how you say a word. So geffen means vine, like grapes grow on a vine. When you have it at the end of the verse, it becomes gafen. Okay, and mayim, we saw in Genesis, mayim at the end of a verse becomes mayim with a long kamatz instead of a short patach. Mayim. It happens a lot. I'm not sure why, but it happens. Yedaber. Yedaber means he will speak. Yedaberu, they will speak. Yedaberu. Accent is here. When it is sof pasuk, we have a couple of things happen. This becomes tsere, long, and the accent shifts back here. Yedaberu, yedaberu. Yedabru means they will speak. Yedaberu is the same word, but in pause. Pause means that it's in sof pasuk, it's at the end of the verse, or in one other position in the middle of the verse. This is sof pasuk. The verse is divided into two logical halves. At the end of the first half, we will see an accent called etnachta. Etnachta. This looks like a wishbone, like this. So with siluk and sof pasuk, and with etnachta, we see pause. That is, it's a logical place for the verse to break. And then because it breaks, you pause, and when you pause, it affects the vowels that are on the word. So let's think of try to think of an example. Maybe, is it really important? Maybe it's not important for right now. Maybe we should just ignore that. I just want you to know what's going on.
It's interesting.
I want you to know what's going on right there. This tells us that this section, this verse, actually is going to have the mark etnachta on that word, because it's not the end of the verse. This is the end of the verse, sof pasuk, and you see also that Mitzrayim has a long kamatz, even though Mitzrayim is supposed to have a short patach. Mitzrayim. This is patach. Mitzrayim, but in pause, that is with sof pasuk, and etnachta, it becomes long. Mitzrayim. Not so useful where we're at, I think, but it is good to know that in Hebrew, the verse from here to the end is divided into a logical stopping point. Like there are two halves of every verse in the Hebrew Bible. And they read with the accents that are on the text, they read and they tell you where to pause. Okay?
Yeah, that's interesting.
It would also happen on this word, that betza, if it's in pause, will become batza with ah. It's going to just, so if you see an oddness in a vowel, many times it has to do with where it is in the verse. So bechesef with silver and bechasef is the same exact word. It's just this will have etnachta, the pausal form, like this, will be under that syllable. And this one has any other accent that's not a pausal accent. Okay, pause. So weird concept. There are some things in biblical Hebrew that are just, they seem unnatural to spoken language. One of them is pause, and the other is the whole vav consecutive thing, the turning a future verb to the past. It's very odd. But these are things that happen in the Bible, and our goal is to learn to read the Bible. So, all right. So we've got Vayimkeru et Yosef la Yishmaelim bechasef. They sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for money. And I think we are on Geo, if you want to finish us out real quick, and then we'll go to the next slide.
Vayavu.
Okay, that vowel there is O.
Vayavu.
Bo.
Vayavu Yosef. El Mitzrayim.
El Mitzrayim. So Vayavo, the subject here is Joseph. Joseph came, Vayavo Yosef, El Mitzrayim, to Egypt. The Bible isn't actually going to say El Mitzrayim here, it's going to say Mitzrayma. Just like we have hema, we can have an H on the end of a word and it means to. Mitzrayma, to Mitzrayim, to Egypt. But El Mitzrayim is a simplified form and it's great. Next, Vayelech. Vayelech Reuven El Habor. Okay, Reuben went to the pit. V'henei en Yosef babor. Earlier they said en mayim babor. There's no water in the pit. Now they say en Yosef babor. Joseph is not in the pit. Vayikra, he called out or cried out, Reuven, Bekol gadol, he cried out with a great voice, a big voice, a loud voice. Vayikra Reuven Bekol gadol, gadol, big, great, large, loud. Okay, and word, you're to go now. It's the same verb, Vayelech.
Vayelech.
What's the subject of it? What's the subject of Vayelech?
That'd be Reuben.
Yeah, exactly.
Just pointing back. Vayelech el ha'achim va'amor vayamar
Vayomar.
Vayomar Yosef ein bebor. Ayehu.
Ayehu, where is he? Ayehu, in modern Hebrew, instead of Ayeh, we say Eifo. Eifo, which is also a biblical form, but Ayeh is a more common form. Where he said God was walking in the Garden of Eden, he called out to Adam and said, where are you? The word where are you is from here, Ayeh, but it's Ayeka. Ayeka, where are you? Ayeka. It has an ending on it. The ka means you. Ayeka, where are you? And this is a really fun way to, like, many times in Israel, you say Eifo ata, where are you? But it's fun to play with someone. Instead of saying Eifo ata, you say Ayeka, and to see if people understand you, because it's a biblical form that's not used in modern Hebrew. But, anyway, so Vayomar Yosef en babor Ayehu. Ayehu, where is he? Okay, Joseph's not in the pit. Where is he? Okay, go ahead, Gio, the next sentence. Well, it's a long one.
Vayikechu et ha-ketonet.
Yes, this is a really weird form. How can you have a taf with dagesh? You see the dagesh? Dagesh is supposed to close a syllable, but you can't have a full syllable with a shva. Ketonet. I have no idea what's going on with this word. It's very weird. But that's it. Haktonet. It's like the word for two is shtaim. In the old language, taf without dagesh would have been pronounced like a th, th. And for Ashkenazi Jews, it's pronounced like an s. So if you remove the dagesh and you have this word ketonet, it would be pronounced kethonet or kesonet. And in both situations, it just sounds bad. So instead of saying kesonet or kethonet, they preferred to say ketonet, so they had to add the dagesh to make it sound right. It happens with the number 2. The number 2 is shtaim, where it's shin with shva, and after it has taf with dagesh, shtayim. It's a weird combination that we have to, it violates the rules that we're used to, but you can hear why. You wouldn't want to say shtayim with the th, so they wanted shtayim and they had to use the dagesh. But anyway, sorry to go on a some kind of excursus on that. It's not really very important. But anyway, so we've got vayikechu et haktonet
asher leyosef vayahargo she'ir Seir vayasimu.
This is from the verb sim. Sim is put. Sim. Vayasimu, and they put. Seir is a goat. This is a goat. They killed a goat.
Seir vayasimu dam al haketonet.
Vayasimu dam al haktonet. They took Joseph's ketonet, his tunic, whatever it was, and they killed a goat and they put blood on the ketonet, his fancy coat. Okay, go ahead, the next sentence, word, if you don't mind.
Vayishlechu et haketonet el Yaakov vayomeru haker is it haker?
Yep, hakerna.
Hakerna.
Haker is it's an imperative form, meaning recognize or know, or I guess in this case, try to recognize, right? Try to recognize this ketonet. Is it his or is it not? Okay, so they're saying, you know, so recognize it.
Hakerna hazot.
Ha, what is ha here?
Recognize.
But ha here is not the definite article. It's not like ha zot.
That's the question. That's the
exactly.
question.
Ha zot as an article would be like this. Ha zot. It means this. But without that dagesh, we have zot, and then this is a question. Yes or no? Yes or no? It's like the Greek ara. Ara meaning just is it yes or no? Okay? So ha zot, is this? Is this? Ha zot.
Asher le Yosef. Im lo. Like if not, yes or no, maybe if not.
Yeah, if not, in this case it means or not, right? Is this Joseph's ketonet or not? Okay, fantastic. I'll go this one and then Gio can finish us out. Vayomer Yaakov. Okay, so Jacob said, this is the subject. Hine, behold, zot haktonet. In this case, zot haktonet means this is the ketonet. It's the implied verb is. It's a verbless clause. Zot haktonet asher leYosef. This is the ketonet of Joseph. Asher means that, and leYosef means to him, or it's his its property. Haktonet asher leYosef. Okay, in modern Hebrew we take the asher and we shorten it to she, which is also a biblical form, meaning asher, it's the same word. And then we join the le from here to it, and we say shel, and this means of. Shel le means that belongs to, and we join it together as a word shel, meaning of. So haktonet shel Yosef is how we would say it, but haktonet asher leYosef is the full expression. This is the ktonet which to Joseph. Chaya ra'a achla et Yosef. An evil animal, a wild animal. Achla, feminine, because chaya is feminine, so they agree. Achla et Yosef. A wild animal has eaten Joseph. And then, Gio, you get the end.
Okay, so that's Vayikra Yaakov Bekol Gadol Vayasem
Sak.
Sak Yamim Rabin.
Yep, and sak means sackcloth. So he put sackcloth for many days, meaning that he wore it, he put it on, because that's what people did when they mourned. They would tear their clothes and they would put on sackcloth to mourn the death of a family member. Okay, we are basically finished. Let's see how we're doing on time. Not bad at all, not bad. So, at the beginning, before we started the reading, Ward, you said you had a question that had to do with the reading. Did we cover it, or is it something that we should pull up?
I'm looking for it right now.
Okie doke. I'm pulling up my workbook.
I actually asked it on the discussion board, and I think I got it answered.
Do you think you did, or you think you didn't?
Well, I think I did. I can't find it right now. I'm looking through here. It was just a phrase in the reading that didn't make sense to me.
Be'od.
Be'od, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get to that. I see it now. Be'od hu ala derech. Od means yet. So be'od is in yet hu ala derech. In yet he on the road. Meaning the time that he was still on the way. While, in this case, while he was still on the way.
Well, I found that site. I forgot. I had it listed in there what it is. Hippo something.
Yeah.
And they came back and said while. And then it kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Made sense.
Let me get on here. Another way to say that you would find in the Bible, it says odenu. Od means yet, and odenu means yet he. Odenu. Odenu means while he still. You could say whenever Joseph received when Jacob received the bad news about Joseph's death. No, at the end of the story, when his brothers came to Egypt, and he revealed himself to them as their brother after a while, and he asked them, "Is my father still alive?" Remember, he asked them, "Is my father still alive?" What he did, he if I can remember correctly, he said, "Avi," this is my father, "Odenu chai," and then he asked the question. Odenu chai. Odenu means he is yet. So Avi Odenu chai is my father still alive. I thought that, I tell you, when I first read the Joseph story in Hebrew, the second semester of Hebrew that I took, there were things that were said in Joseph's revelations to his brothers, that really broke my heart. I thought that this was probably, when I read it, I thought it was the best story ever. And one of the things that he said was when he said, "Is my father still alive?" Those three words in Hebrew, they really, really touched me. And I hope that they bring them out in this text. And another thing was whenever it said that he kissed his brother's neck and he wept. And the word "and he wept," vayefk, that it's so concise in Hebrew, and it has emotion attached to it. I don't know why, but when I read this story in Hebrew, I cried. I never cried when I read it in English, but when I read it in Hebrew, it really, really touched me. So I'm glad they chose it.
This had some of the same impact on me when I was reading about after they took the coat back to Jacob, and it's Joseph's coat, and Jacob's wearing sackcloth, and the brothers are saying good things about Joseph. It's like, oh, how dare you guys?
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was amazing.
But they're saying good things about him because they're trying to make him feel good about the loss of his son.
Yeah.
But, there are a lot of parts in this story that have high emotional impact, I think, in Hebrew. Anyway, all right, so we have essentially arrived at 3:30 in the morning. That's the time we normally stop. Is there anything that we should cover, you think, a little deeper before we let go? How do you feel about the demonstrative adjectives? That was a big part of the grammar, I think. I think we covered it pretty well, but I want to know if you feel comfortable with it.
I think I understand it. I just think I need to practice it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because I kind of learned who is he, and so it's hard to kind of start using that as a demonstrative adjective now and not just as a pronoun. I just have to think different.
Well, it's the same in Greek, hutos.
Yeah.
Like hutos, right. It means it can mean that or this, or it can mean he. Also ekenos, the far. Right. So I mean, in some respects, Greek and Hebrew have a lot of connection. So, especially New Testament Greek, But all right. Well, if you feel good with the reading, I think we did fantastic. I think we were great.
This would not be a question for now, but I'd be interested in your thoughts sometimes. It seems to me that probably a good part of the books of the New Testament, some of the simpler ones, like John, for instance, aren't they almost... when I learned to program computers, I learned Fortran.
Oh,
but
wow.
Then
I read about it when I was doing a programming class, but that's way before my time.
But then as we went along, you changed C and C++ and other things. Yeah. But really, when I wrote C++ programs, I wrote C++ with a Fortran syntax. And I got the impression some of the Greek New Testament is Greek, but almost with a Hebrew syntax.
Absolutely.
I'd be interested in your thoughts on that later. So.
No, I mean, we've got a couple of minutes now. It's not that complex. Really, like the Revelation, for example, the Apocalypse. I read that when I was 20. I read it in Greek. And I thought, wow, there are so many things in there that just don't make sense as far as, the syntax, things fitting together, There are so many things that it felt like I was reading bad Greek. But when I read the same book in Hebrew, when you read the Revelation in Hebrew, it's a completely different experience. Suddenly you get the pictures. You understand the pictures that are coming out because you don't have the problem with I know it's translation. They translated it into Hebrew, and so it obviously won't have grammatical mistakes. But the pictures make better sense in Hebrew, honestly. I don't know really how much I feel that's true with the rest of the New Testament. I just last week, I listened to audio of the book of 1 Corinthians in one sitting in Hebrew, and I really felt like while I was listening to it, I felt that the concepts that he was bringing up were more Jewish, I guess, in a way. Of course, I've read 1 Corinthians in Greek, but it has I think the whole New Testament has a different feel when you read it in Hebrew. Really, I do. So maybe at some point when we get through the course, maybe we'll do like a reading course in a book of the New Testament and introduce you to modern Hebrew.
That'd be interesting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, it just struck me. There's such a difference in the different books in terms of how they're written. If you read Romans versus you read First John, so different.
But Romans has fantastic Greek. I mean, Paul writes really long sentences,
or you go to the ultimate Hebrews. I mean, when I started trying to read Hebrews, it just crushed me.
Oh, that's hard. Yeah, that's really
first
hard.
time.
Yeah. But I think that the Hebrew is simplified in that book, because the level of Greek that is written in the book of Hebrews is so difficult. When it's translated into Hebrew, I feel like it's being dumbed down because I don't know. It's a completely different experience. It's much more intelligible in Hebrew. For me, I think that Hebrew is a more intelligible language than Greek generally. I have a hard time with Greek. If I read Greek outside of the New Testament, I have a really difficult time. But if I read Hebrew outside of the Tanakh, outside of the Jewish Bible, Hebrew to me is much more accessible. It's clearer, I think, than Greek is. But anyway, anything else before we let go? I don't know if you guys have picked up Bibles and dictionaries of your own. I wanted to mention real quick this lexicon, Halot. It's Chalot is what I call it because it's CH. Concise Hebrew and Aramaic lexicon of the Old Testament. It's basically like a simplified version of the Hebrew and Aramaic lexicon of the Old Testament, and it's by this guy, William Holiday. Fantastic book. It's small, it's inexpensive, and if you want to have just a dictionary to look up words and figure out their historical forms or whatever, this has all the information you need. That's kind of important to have a good dictionary for studying the Bible, because sometimes you'll come across words that you just have no idea what they mean. Because there are a lot of hapax legomena in the Hebrew Bible. And Biblia Hebraica Stuttgartensia. This is the standard academic Bible. If you don't have one, William Varner says if you don't have a Septuagint, sell your clothes or your house or your car or something and get one. Well, you have to do that with the Hebrew Bible too, with the BHS, Biblia Hebraica Stuttgartensia. You need to have it.
I bought the reader's edition of that.
Okay, that's good. The only problem is that it's missing the footnotes. And the footnote, the margin, the apparatus. The apparatus at the bottom of the page, once you get into it and you need to, eventually they're going to come out with the quinta for the whole Bible, and it'd be better just to buy one when it comes out, but that's going to be expensive. Biblia Hebraica Quinta, the new edition that's coming out.
No,
it includes all of the notes about the Dead Sea Scrolls and all of the new things that have come out in scholarship since the BHS was published. So that's going to be the way to go, but that's going to cost an arm and a leg. I'll probably be dead by the time that comes out. Anyway, thank you guys so much for this week. Like I said, I appreciate your showing up more than you can know. And I look forward to seeing your progress. It's coming along very nicely. I hope, Gio, you get some time this week to read through the grammar.
Yeah. I got to work on the vocabularies. But I've started this week, actually, little by little. I hope I could catch up with vocabulary. It's good stuff.
Yeah, this actually, the subject matter this week, I think, was relatively simple. So it's not like... it's not going to hold you back as you read through the chapter. So, anyway, thank you guys. We will catch you next week. I'm putting up on YouTube immediately the reading of the whole passage from this week, and also this encounter. So thanks so much, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Lights out.
Bye-bye. Lights out.